Hey everyone, it's Rick Carson, and we're at Make Believe today, and I want to talk about something that I think everyone who is in the music industry probably can relate to, which is a side hustle. You know, one thing that we've always done here at the studio is buy and sell equipment, and constantly, every single day, things are coming in and out of the studio. And one of the questions that I always get asked is, how much is something worth? And I want to help teach you guys how to go about figuring out what something is worth. A lot of this may be very common information to some of you, but hopefully there can be a new concept or two that can help you think about the things that you own and maybe figure out how to make the best investments with your money moving forward. For today's example, I'm going to use this Black Label Boss CE2 pedal. Also, if you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, we are giving away this pedal when we hit 1,000 subscribers to someone who was in the first 1,000. So make sure you're on the list. This pedal is very, very interesting because Boss pedals for a very long time, in my opinion, were a very, very solid investment. They did nothing but go up, and they were plentiful. There were lots of them to find. They weren't hard to find, but certain things, depending on how they would get utilized by famous musicians, could, increase rapidly and put on 100% of their value just by ending up in a photo on Instagram. That was always very exciting to me. But Boss did something very interesting to the market when they started introducing the Wazacraft series. The Wazacraft series not only ate into the value of pedals that were already out there on the market, but it also changed what people were looking for and trying to buy. And I find that very interesting. If you take something like this pedal nowadays, it's not actually that much more expensive than its, Wazacraft alternative, even though this pedal is almost 40 years old at this point. The market for the CE2 versus the Wazacraft is actually 17 times larger for the Wazacraft, with only 10 of these pedals selling in the past 4 months, with over 170 selling for the Wazacraft version. And when you start to look at your collection as far as what does the liquidity look like, I think that's another thing, especially if you go about buying equipment all of the time. If you have enough equipment, at some point you're going to end up with doubles, which is why I am happy to give this away, because we received this in a trade from Josh Scott over at JHS Pedals. The thing that's interesting about liquidity is that just because something has value, it's only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. And if there's not currently a buyer on the market for what you're selling, then it's not truly valuable. And I think that that's really hard for a lot of people to hear when it comes to the equipment that they're selling. It's very wild to me. It seems that, nowadays people are trying to get 80 and 90% out of what, they paid for their equipment. And if there's not a buyer at those prices, then it's just not worth it, So when you're trying to figure out what your equipment is worth, I suggest that you go check out the Reverb sold listings, and you can see in their price guide exactly what these things have sold for, what their condition were, and when they have sold. So you can see exactly how many buyers there may be for something that you're selling. And for something like this, where there's only been one that sold in the last month, if you really need the cash out of it, you may want to price it so that it can actually move. If you don't really need the money, then you're more than welcome to price stuff at whatever you'd like. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.